Welcome back to the Global Local Top Tips, and today, raw brownie. And look I know what you're saying, this is gluten-free, dairy-free and sugar-free, but I promise you, you'll love it. I had my doubts many years ago when I was given the recipe, because it has nothing in it that I like. It doesn't have butter, it doesn't have cream, it doesn't have eggs, but I was surprised and I had to apologize. Let's get stuck in. This recipe is so quick, it is ridiculous. So what we have here is 250 grams of whole walnuts. We've got 10 fresh dates and I've pitted them, so make sure you take the seed out of the center or you're going to break your blender. And 125 grams of pure cocoa powder, and it's gluten free. You can get some cocoa powders that have gluten in them, so just check the box. And I've got 2 tablespoons of cold water. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put the water aside. I'm not going to use it just yet, and I'm going to blend up all these 3 ingredients, the walnuts, the dates and the cocoa, till they're a fine powder, and then we'll get back here. So here we have it. We've got our dates and our walnuts and our cocoa, and it's all blended up. We're just going to get that water now, we're just going to add it in there, and it mightn't seem an awful lot of water to start off with, but all you want to do is bring it together. You don't want it too wet. Okay, so just start off with a little. If it needs a little bit more, you can always add it. However, if you add too much, you cannot take it out. And you're just rubbing it around the bowl, and then just start clumping it together. Just start squishing it together. You'll find that it'll start coming together really, really easy. All that goodness in the dates makes it quite sticky. And I have to admit, when I was originally shown this recipe, I was very doubtful, but my goodness, isn't it tasty? Alrighty, so here we are. So it's all clumping together now, and there's a few different things we can do here with the presentation of it or the service of it. You can make protein balls from there. You know, that kind of protein ball shape. You can actually add in some protein powder if you wanted to. You could roll them into balls, and you could roll it in nuts, or you could roll it in some coconut, or you could roll it back through cocoa again, and you could just present it in little protein balls like that for snacks, whatever. But I'm going to cut it, I'm going to put it into a bread tin. I'm going to squish it down, and I'm going to leave it in the fridge for half an hour just to let it set. So I've got my bread tin here, and I've just lined it with greaseproof paper and a little bit of spray oil just to make it easier to come out of that tin. I'm very careful that I only use this tin for this product, because this is a gluten-free brownie that I'm using. So if you have celiacs in your household, or if you're making this for your kids at home or whatever, just make sure that you don't put it in the same tin as your bread or your cakes, because there can be little bits of gluten in there. So I'm just going to pour it all in there, and just press it right down into the corners. And again, it doesn't have to be perfect, but this is going to be, the bottom is going to be the presentation side, so not the side you're pressing on. Press it down pretty hard. There you go, in the fridge for 15-20 minutes. Take it out, we'll see what it's. So 15 minutes later, we should be ready to go. So I've taken my date brownie out here. I'm just going to bring it onto a board. Try not to break it. And I've got another board then with some greaseproof paper. I just want to turn it upside down, because the presentation side is always better on that bottom side. And there you go, so it's nice and shiny. Got them, all that goodness of the dates in there. And I normally just cut it into slices, or cut it into squares. It's very, very rich. So if I go, you don't want huge big portions, so I just cut it into squares. And that is plenty. You will not believe how rich this is. And it's very, very sweet with all them dates in there. There you go, raw date brownie, gluten-free, dairy-free, sugar-free. Well, there you have it, raw date brownie, and this one brings a smile to my face every time because I was so quick to judge it, and it is so tasty. Give it a go. I hope you liked the video. Please like, share, and please subscribe to us on YouTube, and we'll see you soon. Welcome back to the bonus clip. We've been getting so many questions about different recipes, what we can add in, what we can take out, what can we do with this recipe. And it's fantastic. I love the reaction we're getting. It's brilliant. We always try and answer as many people as possible, as quickly as possible. And the basic way we operate is I will give you a basic recipe. And with that basic recipe, then there's extensions and derivatives of that. And it's probably more important to get the base recipe right, understand the principles behind it. And then you can start experimenting with it, because then once you understand how it works, you can take this out or you can add this in. And the brownie is such an easy recipe, it's so versatile. At the point we're adding in the cold water there, to make it more interesting, we can add in some more dried fruit. We can add in currants and raisins and cranberries. We can add in some coconut. We can add in some more crushed nuts. So it's very versatile. I would limit it to dried fruits or dried nuts, because fresh fruit won't work, because once you press it down and you put it in the fridge, it'll become very wet and mushy and it won't be very nice to eat. But so much more room to move on it with different things and to experiment with it. You can put a little bit of chili through there, you know, a little bit of coriander even, you know what I mean? You can mix it up with sweet and savory. So much more you can do with it. And breads are another beautiful one that you can experiment with. If you get that base recipe, the focaccia that we done earlier on, or the sourdough, and at that point you can add in some really finely diced red onion in there. You can add in some dill, dried dill. And that is a fantastic bread. When that proves up and that red onion and that dill comes through, that bread is sensational. The same with olives. We can put in some black olives or green olives through there, and we can add in a little bit of olive oil into that bread mix. Use the focaccia mix, probably more for that one. And there you go, you know, you can add in some rosemary through it. You can add some garlic into it. There's so much more you can do with the brioche bread. Rather than making it into a loaf, you can roll it out flat, and you can put a layer of butter on there and some brown sugar and some raisins, and you can roll it up and you can make scrolls. So there's so much more. Again, I give you a base recipe and a basic method, and then we can experiment with what we can do then with that recipe, you know what I mean? What else can this recipe make? And this is a fantastic way, because as the further we go with it, and the more we experiment with it, the more technical we can get in future videos, which is what we want to do. So please like and subscribe so we can keep making these videos and we can keep experimenting with them, because this is what we love doing. And I hope you enjoyed, and we'll see you soon.